Right, so the movie starts off and just like David, the kids are on a run. He gets back home and goddamn, those shoes have got to get retired. They're screaming at him. Sometimes you have to know when to call it quits. I know for a fact this greaseball hasn't showered in weeks. Probably wearing the same drawers too. He's moving like you during the great 2020 lockdown. After finally taking his first shower of the year, he realizes his tired ass shoes are missing. His mama tells him she doesn't want to see him walk around looking like some bum, tarnishing her family's name. W moms. She points out the perfectly fine shoes over there, and I take it back. L moms. The dusty hobo shoes might be the better option. Wearing pink shoes in 07, it's like she wants him to get a whopping. Turns out, it's the day of a big track meet at his school. We saw how stinky he was looking, probably spent months training for this. And this bitch decided to throw out his shoes the day of the big race. She might be a bigger hater than Crawford's mum.
My dad used to tell my mom I was going to be a world champ.
I told me we won't be
After completing his 20 hours of unpaid manual labor assigned to him by Peacemaker's dad, the kid, who's called Jesse by the way, barely makes it on the school bus on time. Before we continue, I've got to give some props. She might be the GOAT when it comes to portraying an annoying little sister. Felt like every movie around the late 2000s time frame had her playing this character archetype. Anyways, he gets in and Brock Lesnar's daughter has her eyes set on him. She grabs a peanut butter sandwich and lobs it at his back. You might be thinking, why isn't he spinning back? But you gotta realize, in that middle school time period, some girls have just got us beat. Some of them were built like linebackers. You are not beating this thing in a fight. He does the smart thing and sits down like a good boy. Skip past some cringy dialogue and we get introduced to a new student joining the class called Leslie. And Jesse boy likes what he's seeing over here. Leslie tries using the bathroom, but Brock Lesnar's daughter has got it on locks. She calls her an ugly troll and says she's got crusty ass toes. Somehow, she survives this encounter. I do not know how. The race is about to commence. Jess has been grinding. Blood, sweat and tears, all for this one moment. Man, I remember the adrenaline rush I used to get before races. Just so you know, if me and you ever raced, I would smoke your ass. And they're off. Terrible start by a boy here, but he's brought it back and is gapping them motherfuckers. His little sister's cheering him on and he's just cheesing. All those hours of practicing is finally about to be worth it. Oh hell nah. Yeah, he just got smoked by a girl. Lil bro cannot believe it and neither can I. Nah, they gotta be rage baiting him. Leslie comes in on some good sportsmanship, but I would be salty as hell too. Turns out new girl lives right next door to him. It probably took everything in him not to punch her in the nose. One of his hobbies is drawing, and I swear only your siblings can make you hit a level of anger no one else can. Peacemaker's dad comes in and unsurprisingly he does not fuck with his own son, asking him how the race went knowing he lost to a girl. Look at that fucker's smile. We skip forward to him in music class staring at his fine ass teacher, and hey, I can't blame the fella. They start singing Why Can't They Be Friends, and I know he's trying to be more than just friends, you know what I'm saying? Bro, this guy's dad does not fuck with him. Like, what did he do? Why is he staring down his own son? Chill, bro, he's not trying to crack your wife. Yeah, the FNAF movie was bad, but you didn't have to treat him like this. Jess and Leslie slowly start interacting more and more. You know, sharing snacks, getting his drawings glazed. The teacher sets an assignment to watch a TV channel, but Leslie says she can't watch it because she doesn't have a TV. The kids laugh at her, calling her a brokey, but her dad knew back then that this would rot our brains, but he couldn't prove it. Jess saves Leslie from an unwinnable boss fight. I'm talking, if that fight started, there wouldn't even be a health bar. The two losers bond over being losers. We could be seeing the first documented case of rage baiting right here. They both race off into the forest and Jess still gets mid-diff by Leslie. And that's when they come across the actual villain of the story. If you know, you know. I've never smoked before, but this is what I imagine it would feel like. The two take turns swinging on an abandoned rope swing with no supervision and deep water underneath them. I'm sure nothing bad is gonna happen here. Anyways, both of them still have their childlike wonder and have really good imaginations. They come up with their own secret world, calling it Terabithia, an escape from the bullies from school and racist ass fathers who hate your guts. They find a sweet ass treehouse, and I bet my dumbass originally thought this movie was actually about magical creatures. It's just taking me now to realize all of this was imaginary in their heads. Come on man, there's gotta be some truth here. She's summoning the damn wind. Could be a descendant of that one black airbender. together. We get a fun little montage of them renovating the treehouse together, and our boy Jess is finally getting that twinkle back in his eye. I'm sure nothing tragic is gonna happen to him. Next scene, Brock Lesnar's daughter falls on the bus, almost collapsing the earth. She lies and says Jess tripped her. Nothing would piss me off more at school when a girl would just lie on me and the teacher would believe her solely on the fact that she's a girl. We get a mandatory awkward interaction with your friend's parents, and they're back in their treehouse just chilling, till they get attacked by a bunch of squirrels. And I can't blame my kid's self for thinking this stuff was for real, cause he just uppercut the shit out of that gremlin. And they can't just be normal children, man, cause what is this?
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
Jess's girl helps him open his eyes and sees the world in a whole different way. Man, I should call her. They almost get game-ended by a tree. I'm sure that's the closest we're gonna come to actual danger in this movie. Peacemaker's dad reiterates it to all of us once again that he does not like his son. Brock Lesnar's daughter steals Jess's sister's lunch, and it gets to a point. You can't let yourself get a bitch like this. Throw a rock at her or something. I'm starting to get why his old man doesn't like him. They head back into Terabithia, and they've adopted a dog into their gang. And I don't know what they've been taking, but I'm just gonna call them hallucinations at this point. They start getting more intense. The two decide to commit an absolute school war crime and fake a love letter to Brock Lesnar's daughter. She falls for it hook, line and sinker. Just like that, the bully becomes bullied. You love to see it. Jess gets hit with a double lariat and the teacher just watches and doesn't intervene. We get an update on Brock Lesnar's daughter. Turns out having Brock Lesnar as your dad isn't the best. Allegedly, he hits her at home, but how else is he gonna master them F5s? So she's been having it rough in and out of school. But Jess is looking too happy nowadays, and his dad can sense it, so he calls him a disappointment, and whoa, the baby lion is finally waking up. This must be where that one guy came up with his own origin story.
I beat the shit out of him when I was like maybe 13 when I fought back.
They leap across on the rope swing, and the water below them has risen a ton. That's not concerning at all. The pair get attacked by random gremlins, and I vividly remember thinking this metal hand he gives himself was the coolest thing ever. Practically becoming speedsters at this point, they reach the treehouse, but are surrounded by the rat fiends. Well, that's when a swarm of them fairies come in to back the beef. Jess climbs up the tree to try and get what he needs. And I have two questions here. One, why does she put the key so damn high? And two, bro should have died here. I get they're imagining half of his stuff, but I know for sure that fall was real. So I don't know what actually saved him in this moment. A storm comes in, so both of them head on out of the forest. And you know, all jokes aside, you never know when it's your last time seeing someone. Now it gets a bit weird. The baddie teacher calls his house phone, asking him to hang out on a Saturday. She makes some BS excuse about going to take her nephew to some museum, but he couldn't make it, so instead she decided to call him. There's so many things wrong here. Like for starters, why didn't she call me? I could give you the world, baby girl. But yeah, this is strange. And just like that, he forgot about his main thing. I'm going to skip over that little date, and no, it's not because I'm salty it wasn't me. Alright, it's time to get serious. Jess arrives home and his mom's in tears, saying thank God you're okay. Obviously confused, he thought his dad would high-five him for finally getting some buns. His dad just rips off a band-aid, telling him your friend Leslie is dead. Damn. The way he just says it pisses me off. Like he could gently prepare him, but no, he decides to go into graphic detail seconds later after telling him she's dead. She drowned whilst trying to swing on that rope and hit her head. This can't just be me, but this is crazy. Imagine being a parent back then, seeing this kid movie being released, and we're like, yeah, my little boy or girl are gonna enjoy this innocent little story about child imagination. They just threw in this absolute bomb in the last 20 minutes. A massive middle finger to the kids watching. Like, bro, what were they actually thinking? Obviously, he's not gonna believe his cunt of a dad, so he runs off to check her house, but sees police cars outside. Surprisingly, he starts acting like an actual father here. They go to pay respects at her house, and the interaction with Jess and her father, not gonna lie, made me tear up a bit here. The tone of the movie obviously shifts heavily here, and not so fun fact, this is actually based on a true story. I'm lying, but imagine it was. This kid's trolling knows no bounds, and he whispers a distasteful comment in his ear. Jess gives him a satisfying right to the jaw and walks out of the class. He has a heartfelt conversation with a non-grooming teacher. She's trying her best, but obviously it's not going to do much. But hey, Brock Lesnar's daughter breaks the other bully's nose, so at least you have that. After school, he runs back into the forest, calling out Leslie's name. It's heartbreaking to watch. There's no way the director thought kids watching would be able to comprehend grief like this. Again, what was bro cooking? We watch him slowly come to terms about what's happened and get closure to some degree. But damn, this had no business being a kids movie. But yeah, let me know if you watched it or haven't watched it and your thoughts on the bridge Terabithia.